Who knew that Josh Hartnett was such a bona fide action star? Let's review Fight or Flight. Fight or Flight stars Josh Hartnett, Shandren, Katie Sackhoff, and is directed by James Madigan.
What is going on? Who's killing who?
What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new 2025 review. We're going to review the new action movie, sort of like Bullet Train, but it's Bullet Plane, with Josh Hartnett, called Fight or Flight, which I think is even better of a name. I don't know. I mean, it's just like such an on-the-nose name for an action movie set on a certain location, in this case being a plane. So let's dive in. Let's give you a quick plot synopsis. Josh Hartnett happens to be, should I call him washed up, Secret Service agent, and he's been out of commission because of some shit that went wrong for the past 2 years. And then Katie Sackhoff happens to be one of the lead agents, I guess you would call them. She has a connection, which I won't really spoil or anything. Not that it's that big a deal, but she has a past with Lucas. That is Josh Hartnett's name in the movie, Lucas. That's the character's name. But this movie is really, really simple. He's got to get from Bangkok, I believe, to San Francisco, but he's got to take a plane. And once he gets on the plane, that's 90% of your movie, is just him on this plane that happens to have all these freaking assassins that are hired to kill him. There are some surprises in this movie, though. I'm not going to tell you what the surprises are, but I'll kind of, I guess, talk about their importance, okay? So first off, with the pros on this, Josh Hartnett is perfect. Excellent in this. He is definitely an action star that I never knew we needed, but he's so good in this, and you can tell that he put a lot of work into this, into the choreography, the fight choreography. Also, he beefed up for this. He looks like an action star. I remember like Stallone and Schwarzenegger, they would talk about in the 80s, you know, you had to look the part. Whereas, you know, once you had like, you know, superhero movies come out and guys could get in suits, then they didn't have to look as muscular. But not saying that he's as big as Stallone and Schwarzenegger. No, not at all. But you could buy that he was like a Secret Service agent. And when you watch him do his thing on screen, you more than buy it. Because I've seen so many action movies where they'll put this A-list actor or actress in the role and they don't know what the hell they're doing, so they have to kind of work around it in terms of the blocking and definitely the editing. But in this movie, they just, you know, the camera moves, but they let the action, you know, play out on screen so that you definitely buy it. There's not a lot of cuts. You know, they move the camera around to keep the shot interesting, but as the camera is moving, you still see the action going on, because there's scenes in this movie where it's not just one-on-one. It's one guy against freaking a dozen guys. So to film that in a compelling way, in a way that you would actually buy what's going on, not that easy. And I think they do a fantastic job in this movie. If you go to this movie for anything, go to it for the action, because there's tons of action in the movie. It's so well paced. You don't really need to get too invested in the actual plot of the movie. That's not the most important thing. This movie knows exactly what it is, right? And so they don't spend too much time stopping and trying to just explain everything to the point of exhaustion. No, they have little moments here where you could have, you know, Josh Hartnett being in pain or hurt, which is a good thing, because a character that's going through this type of scenario, he's going to get some battle damage. And so they stop to address that, and they'll have little moments where they explain what's going on with the plot. Now, a very important character in this is Isha, played by Shandren. I absolutely loved this character. I think she had really great chemistry with Josh Hartnett, you know, Lucas as a character. Again, we've seen so many movies where the chemistry is just not there at all. It feels like two actors working and trying to sell it. They just felt natural with each other. She happens to be a flight attendant in the movie, that's all I'm gonna say. But her character definitely has some meat to chew on in this movie for a variety of reasons. And, you know, I'm being very careful with my words, but when you watch this, I think you're going to love her. And this is an actress I've never seen in anything, and I would love to see her in more things, because she's just a natural. And, you know, it's tough when you have to depend on one actor to bring the charisma for the entire movie. And don't get me wrong, Josh Hartnett is, you know, one of the best at bringing charisma. We love the guy. But she does some of the heavy lifting for him in this movie as well. When the camera's not on him and it's on her, you're still completely invested. Plus, she is in some of the action scenes, and they're really, really fun. Now, jumping into the cons, you don't really see Katie Sackhoff and Josh Hartnett on screen at the same time. She is giving him orders from one side, and he's on the plane in the other. You know, I think Katie Sackhoff does a great job in this movie, and I couldn't help but think that, hey, she was in Halloween Resurrection and Josh Hartnett was in H2O. Kind of funny that they're both in the same movie here, and they do have a past together. But at the end of the day, she's a character, she's a boss giving orders, and I think she does a great job being a boss in this movie. You know, she's very convincing. You know, but this is nothing we haven't seen before, right? This is your stock villain that's maybe, you know, the puppet master, trying to control things. It does go into some predictable areas, especially in the final act concerning her. But luckily, it's not something that's annoying. I think Katie Sackhoff is pretty charismatic. You know, she's a good actress and she's convincing in the role. So, you know, it's not, I don't think it's a problem with the casting or anything. I think it's just maybe the character and the writing. It's kind of one-dimensional, I guess you could say. But again, this movie knows exactly what it is. You're going to have a blast. It's like an hour and 40 minutes, and it flies right by. One little note, too, is the very, very last scene in the movie I thought was kind of unnecessary. But this is the type of stuff that John Wick has spawned. We're getting quite a few action films outside of John Wick, and some of them work, some of them don't. Is this like franchise potential? Yeah, I would say yeah, because just watching Josh Hartnett do his thing, and I hate to say it, but I would like to see a new, you know, big baddie in like if he did another movie like this, you know, in this, like making it a franchise. But, you know, it's small scale enough that you would be happy if this is just a one-off type movie. It's fun. And you know what? After seeing Trap from last year, that movie was just so damn disappointing. And it wasn't really Josh Hartnett's fault. It was just the story itself. Whereas this, I think Josh Hartnett shined so well in this movie. The action scenes are so fun. They're creative. You're going to see stuff that you might not have seen before because, you know, even when you have good choreography and action, it can still be kind of repetitive and it doesn't really reinvent the wheel. But I think there are some interesting, you know, combat choices in this movie. So I had a lot of fun with it. I'm going to give it, I'll give it a high humdrum. High humdrum. It's close to a low purchase worthy, but it's definitely worth your time. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts about Fight or Flight in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Fever Fridays. Follow me, Drumdums, on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Become a channel member. Buy me a coffee. You know, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, and Drumdum out.